Another day, another chance, another way, another recording. Today I'll be doing a recording. Right, the recording can be based on second book that we got for Java. JavaScript for kids for dummies. So that's what it's based on, man. So second book, and yeah, we're just gonna like dissect that book, man. So let's get into it. Let's go. So for HTML, press Shift exclamation mark then enter. And then what we do is we're gonna have to create like a body, and within that body, right? Because what we're doing is we're creating a website, creating a website draws from HTML. So we're just writing HTML, right? Creating a website, so animating the web and stuff like that. So we need to make use of HTML and Java. So that's what we do. That's what we do, and yeah. Okay. So in our HTML, we're gonna create a heading called. We're gonna do an H1 heading, right? Yeah, I just had to fix something on OBS, right? So what you need is each heading, right? And then for that heading, we create a class. Right, so each one, okay, so that's a heading, and then we've got our class, which is going to be make bold. So what that's going to do is going to take the heading and make it bold. It's going to make it bold, and then span ID had span my name, so take the identification my name and spans it, right? And then you got my name, which is prime type web page. Then your paragraphs underneath your H1 is gonna be this is my web page. Oh, chapter 5 work. You're welcome to check it out. Then you've got your class, which is make bold, and then yeah, that's what you've got. HROL OL. So you've got identification, which is first thing, second thing, third thing, fourth thing, and fifth thing. So that's what you have. So it's like an old list. So I want to make a list where it's got heading, it's paragraph, it's list, and a button. So now HTML, you create a list, right? And then within that list, identification is gonna be first thing. So identification it's gonna be it's pretty much referring to everything that happens, our identification, you know what I mean, is to make sure that when working on Java, when we're adding the functions for these, for these tags, you know what I mean, our Java can easily do that in regards like adding functions for the tags. So yeah, first thing, second thing, third thing, fourth thing, fifth thing, yeah. You know what I mean? Just, yeah, that's what it is. And then you got your one ID, which change list type button. So the ID, right, which change list not only gives the function, not only helps set a function for the HTML, the button on the HTML, which ID, but the change lists, you know what I mean, it's in such a way that as soon as you click the button, you're automatically going to change the list. But if you want to see the ID references for all these tags, you're going to go, we're pretty much going to deduce them just now. So type button, click here to change your list button, script source main.js. So script source main.js, obviously in order for us to access our web page, we need HTML for that, but in order to access our functions, we need a JavaScript. So in order for them to actually run in sync with one another, you need to have a case where your JavaScript gets sourced out to HTML. So what you're gonna do is script source main.js, right? Click here to change your list, and then click here to change your list, script source main.js, and that's what you have. So so that's the HTML part of your web page. So something like that, that, right? And then you got like make bold, So it's pretty much like the HTML part of it, man. And then you got your variable button, which means get element ID. So these are your variables. So variables are gonna be referred to here, you know what I mean? So variables are the things that are gonna get referred to, right? They're gonna get referred to, So for main.js, got a variable for button, right? And then equals document get element by ID my button. Then variable item 1, item 2, variable item 3, 4, and 5, right? Right? So you got your variable names, and then you got your functions, your functions being like new list. Item 1 prompt enter new first thing, item 2 prompt enter new second thing, item 3 prompts. So these are your prompt functions. Alright, so these are your prompt functions. So these prompt functions, right? So what these prompt functions do is they pretty much create like a prompt where and they pretty much action keys. The pretty much action keys for your items. The action keys for the stuff on your web page. You know what I mean? Then update list document. So document get element by ID in your HTML. So this refers to the 5 items that you've got on your HTML. right? So you in your HTML, so within the HTML you got 5 like stuff that you got, right? So you need to get the elements by IDs. So so these things are being fetched. Then you document that. So you refer to the document, then your element by ID, then you in your in your HTML, right? It's first thing, right? That's what you're referring to. So then these are gonna like create like these are gonna create a sense of reference, to your HTML. Like I said before, your HTML has everything to do with your front end. Your front end, your web page. So these create functions for your web page, for your items on your web page, right? So these create like that's what it creates, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what it creates and so on and so forth, you know what I mean? So yeah, so it's button ID, then this, creates a variable document get env ID. So this pretty much creates a variable so that there's a relationship, full stack relationship between HTML main JavaScript, and then this, right, it takes what you've got here for your ID. So your ID makes a reference to your main.js, which is change list, and then it creates an event listener called onClick. So what onClick does, it pretty much creates an event listener in which a new list, on the click of a mouse, a new list gets created. So you got new list here. Unclick new list, right? So function new list. So these prompts new things, you know what I mean? These prompts new things on your function. Unclick is gonna create a new list, right? And so on and so forth. Change list. That's what it does, man. Right? That's what it does. Right? So that's what it does. So this is a full stack relationship between your front end and your back end. It's pretty much like a full stack. So your JavaScript for like your back end elements, which like the functionalities, functions, JavaScript, consoles, so on and so forth. And HTML has everything to do with like your front end. You know what I mean? Your front end and like your front end, everything that happens on your web page. So yeah. So that's how the relationship actually work in sync with one another. So this is my web page. You're welcome to check it out. So in the new first thing, so here's the execution of it all, man. My first thing, email that. Second thing, barbell, dumbbell, So yeah, so that's how you like create, that's how you work with it, man. So that's how you do it. So click here again. That's this is how you like create a whole list, man. That's how you do it. I'm doing this over and over and over again so you can actually get the gist of it, man. I want to get like the gist of everything that's happening. So yeah, expect. So you got your elements. This has everything to do with all the elements on your web page. Right, and then the console, your sources actually refers to your problems. So like the problem refers to your JavaScript. As you can see here, this is the code for like your JavaScript. So that's what it refers to. You know what I mean? Right? That's what it refers to. So this refers to your JavaScript. I told you everything happens at the back end, including like your console sources, your Java, refers to your JavaScript. You know what I mean? So there's your variables, your functions, and your update list. So for example, I got this element called document that get elements by class name, right? As you can see here, it picked up a problem here, which is the the code was failed to execute. You know what I mean? Due to it only being one argument required, but only zero present. You know what I mean? So there's only like zero arguments present. You know what I mean? So yeah. So yeah, zero elements are present, and then you got your watchtowers and stuff like that. The watchtower, and yeah, that's what you got. So yeah, it's pretty much got everything you find, man. So class, class. So yeah, that's what you have, man. So that's what you've got. Then this shows you a change line, so change from this to this. So I had like no space between prime time, and the creative spacing. So yeah, that's how you create like a web page, man. That's how you actually like, create one. So thank you very much for your time, and until next time, take care. The Lord bless, and thanks. Thanks.